taught me nice. Ain't about winning, don't talk to me twice. I don't play dice, I'll make a move on the board, it's precise. The fuck is the price? I took a fiddle and dipped in the ice. I took a call and now I'm on a flight. Crew heading east, got a booking tonight. First stop is in Atlanta, I got breakfast plans at the Waffle House. Next up is Miami, I'm headed South Beach, fuck we talking about. Show out.
The B&T APC9 SD Pro. Now, you can see the look on my face right now. I'm annoyed because it's just too many letters. B&T APDDRFSD 910. What is it?
Before you finish watching this video, I want to thank the sponsors of today's video. First is Collector's Firearms, probably one of the largest collection of guns in Houston, if not Texas, and is also where I bought my very first 1911, the Kimber Ultra Raptor. And I also want to thank Pard, the maker of the DS35 LRF Day and Night Vision Rifle Scope, which gives you the ability to switch between daytime and night vision, has the ability to capture photos and videos, has 6 reticle options, built-in Wi-Fi, and is IP67 waterproof rated. So if you're looking for a daytime and night vision scope, check out Pard, and thank you Collector's Firearms and Pard for supporting the channel.
Well, if you ask me, it is the more refined version of the MP5SD. You see, the SD stands for integrally suppressed. Not literally, but that's what the designation means. So you have your barrel, which is ported, and then you have a suppressor placed on top of the barrel. And then you have full auto PCC goodness. PCC meaning pistol caliber carbine. So the B&T is what you would get if you were to say, I want to make the best, most ergonomic, most well-done MP5 known to man. I know that's saying a lot considering the MP5 is the granddaddy of pistol caliber carbines. But if I'm gonna be honest, that's exactly what this is. If you take a picture of the SD, the MP5 SD, and then you put it side by side by this, it's just a modern version. It's just a modern version of the MP5, except for you have all of the modern accoutrements that come with being a modern firearm. You see, the MP5's been around for like 1 million years, and it hasn't changed whatsoever, largely because it's such a phenomenal platform and a phenomenal gun. But with the B&T SD, APC9 SD, just too many letters, man, too many letters, like, come on. But I get it. There's that refinement that you get with the Swiss gun, right? But you know, it looks like a modern version of the MP5 in a lot of ways, but then also kind of its own thing. I personally really love the way it looks, especially because there's some aspects to it that give me a little MP5. This stock is, even though a B&T stock is kind of reminiscent of an MP5 stock. I love this front rail here. This M-LOK front rail system to me is just the bee's knees. And I still kind of have this weirdness about pistol caliber carbines and their magazines compared to the magwell. Though it makes loading the magazine really easy, and then, we'll get to that later. Though it makes loading the magazine really easy, I think visually, this bothers me. This just too much space. Just doesn't proportionally work out for me. But other than that, I think it's a phenomenally good looking gun. What are the features? See, with a modernized gun, the beautiful thing is you get a ton of modern features. So starting back to front, you get a collapsible stock. You also get, of course, the full auto switch, started from top. Let's go safe, semi, and full. For a while, I actually thought it was single, then 3 burst, then full. When in reality, what I was doing was just bursting on full auto. Sue me. But, of course, you get your full length Picatinny rail up top here. Then, of course, this entire gun is completely ambidextrous. Everything. I can drop the magazine from both sides. I can drop the bolt from both sides. I can charge it with a non-reciprocating charging handle on both sides. My selector lever is on both sides. Everything about this gun is completely ambidextrous, and I mean completely. So again, modernness. It's a modernized, more refined version of the MP5. Now,
is the stock ambidextrous? Just wondering. Go ahead.
2 points for Peter. Okay, so maybe the stock is not completely ambidextrous, but you get my point. And now, what you really want to know, how does it shoot? Come on! Oh! Okay, so, in short, phenomenal. The MP5 is one of the best shooting guns I've ever shot. And this little booger, okay, let's talk about something real quick. I had to temper down the excitement. There's some aspects of this gun that annoy me. One, dropping the magazine, it doesn't necessarily just drop. You kind of have to pull it out. Not the biggest fan of that. Another thing, when you have rounds in the magazine, it's even harder to release the magazine. Now, it could be an issue with just this particular gun. I don't know, but all I know is it makes it really hard to take the mag out with rounds in it or on a full mag. And then when it's empty, it's easier, but you still have to pull it out. It doesn't drop free. Some people say you could make the argument the MP5 is the exact same way, but I would prefer that they drop free. That's neither here nor there. Now back to the fun. All right, so from a shooting perspective, the whole concept of refinement continues on with respect to the shooting aspect of the firearm. So where the MP5 kind of had this it's a smooth shooting, very smooth shooting gun. It's silky. This is just, I struggle to really say exactly, but it's just efficient. It's just an efficient, it's just a very efficient way to shoot. It just, it is so fast. It's so fast. It just farts on targets. That's all it does. It just farts on targets. And even from distances like this, because the recoil doesn't move, you can sit on targets at distances that are just insane. Like if I'm out here and I want to think like you could, that doesn't make sense. Like look at this thing. Like it just sits. I'm gonna make the head. Like that's goofy. Now, I'm not saying the MP5 couldn't do this. You could do the same thing with the MP5. The difference is that you get this refinement and this platform that makes shooting just enjoyable. Where the MP5 is fun, this is very satisfying. I know it's a very minor distinction, but they're a distinction nonetheless. You know, the MP5 it's fun because it is kind of old, and it's kind of loopy in a way. Like it's kind of lazy. It's kind of a lazy platform. Where this is very serious. It's very stern. It's very clinical, but in the best ways possible. It just makes the shooting experience so satisfying because everything is tight. Everything feels good. The way it shoots, everything is just precision that I don't think you necessarily get with the MP5. So if I had to compare them, it's literally like driving a Porsche versus a Ferrari. Where anybody who knows anything about Ferraris, they can be very finicky. They have their little kind of idiosyncrasies. Like they can kind of just be these little tic-tac, knick-knacky things that are just kind of annoying. Whereas the Porsche, nothing moves, nothing creaks, nothing rattles. It's just solid. But the creaks and the weirdness of the Ferraris, they kind of add to the experience. Whereas with the Porsche, the fact that it's so clinical, so refined, it just, you go, ah. Whereas with the Ferrari, you're like, you know what I mean? They're still both enjoyable emotions, they're just different. So let's talk about this trigger. So the MP5 is known for having a really shitty trigger, whereas this, ironically enough, it's almost a precision type trigger. For instance, you get here and you see that? Two-stage trigger with a nice wall, and then you break. And then you reset. Now the reset is a little hollow. reset is a little hollow and it's a little long. But the initial take, here, wall, break, reset, boom. Slack out, wall, break, reset, boom. So when you're on it, that's how it looks. Crazy. Now, under full auto, you don't really notice anything because it's just, like, I mean, it's just literally, but the beautiful thing is it's so smooth and silky of a trigger that when I do want, if I just want to burst it, I can burst it with ease. You come on it and get off of it really quickly. Boom, boom, like no problem. So it's almost a precision full auto, literally, which is why I can come here. It's just nuts how precise I can be with this trigger considering it's full auto. Like it's literally like, and then with the lack of recoil, I can make precise full auto hits at these distances. This is dumb. And then it's completely suppressed too. This is an MP5 killer. I'm not saying it makes the MP5 obsolete. I'm just saying it's better than an MP5. If we're gonna be honest with each other, let's just call a spade a spade. It's better than an MP5. It just is. I'm sorry. I don't love the MP5 any less, but if we're gonna be real, if these were able to be had at full auto the same way MP5s were, vast majority of people would get this gun. And I love MP5. But if I can get a full auto, PCC, stop it. Like, I get this. I get this. Like, it gives me everything I want and everything I need. I mean, I have the ability, I can run it integrally suppressed. I have my rail system on here so I can put my lights, lasers on my doohickeys. It's completely ambidextrous. I have a non-reciprocating charging handle. I have a folding stock. I have these beautiful magazines. I mean, I have a precise trigger that allows me to shoot full auto like I'm shooting a sniper rifle. Come on, like, come on, like, come on, like, watch. Like, come on, come on, come on. Who's this for? None of you, because nobody can get it. It's a post sample. Now, that's actually not true, because technically, you can get this in semi-auto, which you can buy. You just can't get it in full auto, and it'd be exactly the same, more or less. However, from a full auto perspective, it's just a more efficient, modern, refined PCC. And I think it's one of the most refined and well-built PCCs that I've ever shot. And I mean, that's about as much as I can say about it. If we could have these full autos, I would argue it's probably one of the best home defense platforms on the market. If you don't believe me, you can watch my video that I'm gonna do later about why I believe that to be the case. B&T APC9 SD Pro. Too many letters, man. Like, call it like the frog or like the wolf. No, you don't like that? What would you call it, Peter?
Not that.
You're useless. I got it. The bald eagle.
Guns aren't political. That's why I need your help getting this message to spread on YouTube by clicking the thumbs up button, leaving a comment to let me know what you think of the video, then subscribing to the channel. But most importantly, click that bell symbol. For products